I thought you had In-N-Out Burger for a second, and I almost cut you.
Why that? It's not nearly as good as Freddy's.
You shut your whore mouth.
All right, Judas and the Black Messiah. The story of Fred Hampton, deputy chairman of the National Black Panther Party, who was assassinated in 1969 by a Cook County tactical unit on the orders of the FBI and Chicago Police Department. It is starring Lakeith Stanfield and Daniel Kaluuya, and I liked this a lot. It is my favorite movie of the year.
Mine too.
Same.
Yeah.
This is one of those movies where you get done and you're like, oh my God, I'm so mad at the government right now. Like I
just want to go listen to NWA.
Do what?
I want to go listen to NWA.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I want to go sit outside a police station and just blare the police. Like,
I mean, that's what I do on a daily basis anyway.
True.
it's just a Tuesday for Chris.
Yeah.
I want to say the bad things
awesome
about this movie before I get I just want to say the bad things about it. That way we can just talk about the good stuff. The only bad thing I can think of is that Daniel Kaluuya is 10 years too old to play this role, and that's it. But he's fantastic. Yeah. So that's my complaint, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree because the guy is supposed to be 21. Yeah. Like, Daniel Kaluuya does not look 21 by any
31.
stretch. Yeah, but it works. I like him.
Yeah, he's great in that. Absolutely. He nails Fred Hampton too, just the way he speaks.
Oh my
gosh. His speech patterns, his accents, like he nails it. And he's just super good. He at like that like charming leader, he has so much charisma, and I totally buy him as like a leader of this organization who would be able to recruit and bring people in, and who would be able to like just captivate a crowd like that, He nails it. It is so good.
I think my favorite part of him as an actor is his eyes. They're just so emotive. Like I don't know.
I think I know the specific scene you're thinking of. It's when the poetry is happening in the bedroom. Yes, I noticed that in that scene. I was like, God, wow.
I also noticed that in Get Out. Like I think that's where I just have been stuck with that since then. But
yeah.
Well, and is it Dominique? Is that that she did amazing too? She did great.
She was amazing. Yeah.
The only other thing I've seen her in was Project Power.
Yeah, it's Dominique Fishback, Keith Stanfield, and Daniel Kaluuya. Those are the three leads. All three of them.
And her and Lakeith are not getting enough awards cred right now. Like it's all Kaluuya, which is his fucking movie. Like he's incredible. He should win Best Supporting Actor, like no doubt. But Lakeith is great. Lakeith is one of my favorite actors right now.
Agreed.
She's incredible in this. Her like when she's doing the poetry, and then when the thing happens at the end, which we know what's going to happen, and it stays on her. I was just crying. I had goosebumps. Like
that scene was amazing. Like it was so brutal and devastating. Like, her performance was fantastic.
And that's how you know you have a good director, when you're like, there's so much going on, but he is smart enough to focus on her and like everything she's thinking.
And things happening in the background, but we're staying on her. We're focusing on her and how she is taking in this moment, and we're not moving away from her. It was
Even the sound, the background sound, and all you can really hear is her breathing. This makes sense. Her thinking. I don't know if that tracks, but you can hear her trying to process what's happening.
Yeah.
Also, Laurel Howery makes a cameo.
And a good cameo, a fun cameo. Like it was cool.
And it's nice to see three of the guys from Get Out in a movie together.
Yeah.
But I was not expecting him to randomly show up, especially as a character like that in this movie, but I was into it.
Yeah. I think Lakeith Stanfield in general does not get enough attention and credit for his acting. I think he is incredible. And I loved him in this so much. You could really see like the dilemma that he was in that conflict just on his face, even if he's not saying anything, and the way he was able to switch back and forth between that to be acting when he needed to be. to where he needed to be one way with the group, and then to be able to just like switch that off. He's acting that he's acting, you know, this character is acting that he is acting as, and he pulls that off so well. And I don't think I even thought about that a single time while I was watching that, and that's amazing. He pulled it off perfectly.
And he manages to make you empathize with him, and historically he's playing like a pretty fishy, like screwed up person. Like
he's an narc. He's an actual narc, yeah.
And so it's, I felt for him, which is interesting. Because if I'm reading this on paper, I'm not going to feel for the guy.
No, but I think that is essential with this story, though, because he was in a position that he couldn't really turn down, and he needed to be doing this. And being able to see that conflict on his face of like, I'm sure how he actually felt at these Black Panther rallies and stuff, and, you know, rights that needed to be given, and being conflicted because he's trying to turn these people in. He's working with the police, you know, and Lakeith Stanfield gets that across really well.
I think some of the best acting he did was the scene right before the thing happens, where he has to make a decision what to do. And every time you see him, your heart kind of drops, because you're like, oh my God, what's he going to do? Like, he's like literally sweating.
Yeah, and you can see it on his face too. He's thinking, what am I going to do? And you can really see that on him.
Like, to me, it should say something that there's a scene where it's not necessarily on Lakeith's, but he's kind of there, and Daniel Kaluuya and another guy are talking, and the whole time, personally, I'm like, all I could do was watch him, like, agonize over this. And they're talking about important stuff in the background, and I'm like, I heard none of that. All I could do was watch this guy. Like, it's crazy.
The sound design was really good too, because it focused on that. I remember seeing, like, you're talking about when things are happening in the background and it kind of drowns out. It almost reminds me of who's the guy who did Tenet?
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, Nolan. His stuff back when he used to do it well, and how that would be drowned out. Like, the sound design would work in a way that you would not hear that, because that's not important to the scene. It was done in a way to where you would only be looking at his character and hearing, like, his tiny, you know, emotions in his voice and his acting, and then the background kind of drowns out in the sound design, and that was done really well. They did that a few times, and I really liked that.
And it actually portrays what was going on as literal war, because that's what was going on, and I like that it didn't shy away from that.
Yeah, it was. It didn't shy away from how the that party were also extremists in a lot of ways. So I'm really glad it wasn't like a complete, like, oh, everything they did was totally fine and nothing bad ever happened, you know? Like, it was a definitely more accurate telling than we can get sometimes, which is good. It's definitely good to show, like, the truth of it, because the truth of that is really up.
Well, and I like that it's also like, Herbert Hoover is J. Edgar Hoover is a like,
played by Martin Sheen, who did weirdly great. Not weirdly, because he's amazing, but every time he's in the scene, you're like, God dang, I forgot he was in this movie.
Yeah.
Also, his voice is so, like, iconic and memorable that I heard it before I saw him, and then once the camera panned to the character, I was like, oh, wow.
And
he had a lot of makeup.
Oh yeah. We also need to shout out Jesse Plemons, because he is on fire with the movie choices he's been doing lately. He's just he's like a chameleon, because you see him in, like, he got to start in, like, Friday Night Lights. I remember seeing him in that. And then he is in I'm Thinking of Ending Things, but then he's also does stuff like Game Night, and then this. I'm like, he's just really versatile. Yeah,
he is. Yeah, he's really good too.
I'm trying to think if I wrote down anything else that I want to talk about.
Yeah. I wrote down that I like the score. There wasn't a lot of songs with lyrics and stuff. A lot of it was just melodies and stuff. And I thought that was good. I thought that fit the movie. I think putting lyrics over a lot of these scenes would have pulled attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like just the music itself kind of highlighted stuff instead of trying to pull you into like what song is playing right now.
I will say that I wish that they would have fleshed out Lakeith's character a little bit more, because I think that you made like Fred Hampton in this movie, like a lot of it's credit to Daniel Kaluuya, but he's just so captivating, and like his story is just compelling, and like you want to see more of him. And like I think they should have either made him the main character or done a little bit more with Lakeith's character.
Yeah. I feel like any more or less for one or the other would have been doing the other a disservice, though. And I feel like they kind of had to hit that point of give and take, because if you did more of Lakeith, it would have felt like disservice to Daniel Kaluuya's, and vice versa. I feel like it was a pretty fine line they had to walk to balance like these two like fantastic performances in these really important roles. And I think that it did a pretty good job with that.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the movie. I just give me 5 more minutes and
right.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have gone for more than that. Yeah. Like I could have watched more of this, and this wasn't short either. But I could have gone for more.
Yeah. This is another movie that just made me angry at the end. Like, did we even get text? I don't remember.
Yeah,
we did.
Remember, it talks about
his son and
Yeah, and we got actual video from the real life people and all of that. Yeah.
So this isn't really a spoiler because it's a historical movie. Do you know, Chris? I was trying to find it. Do you know why the Fred Hamptons, did they get married? Is it his wife?
No. I don't think they did.
Anyway.
I don't know for sure, but I don't think they did.
Do you know why she changed her name? I looked all over the place trying to figure out why she changed her name.
What do you mean?
Well, so she changed her name later in life.
Yeah. Well, a lot of them do that in Black Panthers because they are embracing like the Muslim heritage.
Yeah,
and they do that when they transition. That's the same thing.
I wonder if it was like Ali and Cassius Clay.
That's exactly. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's what I assume it was, because a lot of people do that when they do go to Black Panthers and then convert to Islam.
Yeah, this is a great movie.
Absolutely.
This is a must watch. I'm with you guys right now. It's top of my list.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
So really quickly before we do scores, you can watch this on HBO Max tomorrow, which by the time this comes out, it'll be today, I think.
What's the date that it comes out?
It comes out on HBO Max and in theaters simultaneously. Don't go to the theater, just watch it at home.
Yep, on the 12th of February.
Yeah, so it's part of HBO Max and Warner Brothers deal where they're releasing something in theaters and VOD or on HBO Max simultaneously for 30 days. Then it's going to go just to theaters. Then eventually it'll come back to HBO Max. But yes, definitely watch it. Let's do scores. I gave this an 87.
I gave it a 90.
And I gave it a 92.
Our number is a 90. It is the best movie of the year by far. Well, until we get into
Agreed. So far, it is the best movie so far.
Yeah, I'm interested in a couple of weeks to get your opinion on a couple of movies. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. If you are on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and like this video. You can check us out on several different forms. We are on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts, and you can go to our website at realdealpodcast.com. But thank you guys for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.